Yankees win the series versus the Toronto Blue Jays. However, their winning streak has come to an end, and in pretty tough fashion as well. So it's funny, like as many wins as the Yankees get, when you lose a game that you're up by 5, and the Yankees really had in hand and can't win it, it still does hurt. So the Yankees had a chance to win their 50th game, had a chance to win their 10th in a row. It felt like everything was rolling, but unfortunately, up 8-3, they can't seal the deal as it's a combination of Severino, mainly Miguel Castro, and Wandy Peralta. And the Yankees still fought to the bitter end, but they weren't able to get the victory. But overall, it was a good series versus the Blue Jays. A really dominating performance in the first night, where the Yankees offense really exploded. And then game 2, great pitching, shutout ball. And game 3 looked like it was going to be, I guess, similar to game 1. But like I said, Toronto, you can't hold them down forever. And in a nutshell, winning 2 out of 3 at the Blue Jays with where the Yankees are at in the standings is great, but it still does hurt. The Yankees had not lost when they had been up by 5 or more, they had been undefeated. They were the only team in baseball to not have allowed 10 runs or more in a game. So, yeah, I feel like a lot of it was sort of the anti-Yankee game, everything that kind of took place. There might have been a set also the Yankees hadn't given up a grand slam this year, which feels like it might be true. But yeah, for me, Miguel Castro, that's just someone that you can't trust. Plain and simple. Miguel Castro, he's just too erratic. I've said this before. He's a guy that's got good stuff, major league caliber stuff, absolutely. But ideally, you're not using him in big spots. This wasn't really a huge spot at the time. It's the 6th inning. The Yankees were up 5. And unfortunately, gives up a grand slam to Lourdes Gurriel. And he might have been squeezed a little bit in the Matt Chapman at bat, but I digress. The Yankee offense has really been very good. And for me, Gleyber Torres really stands out. Anthony Rizzo as well, but Gleyber Torres, I was wrong. I really thought Gleyber was done from a power perspective. He's not. Gleyber Torres, you want to talk about that infield, and ideally it's a situation where currently it's Hicks or Gallo that sits, but if you were in a situation where Stanton needed to DH, Gleyber at this point for me, that I want him in. And it comes down to LeMahieu or Donaldson, that would be the guy that would be on the bench. Gleyber has asserted himself as the guy that should be playing just about every single day. Whereas there was a time this season where, like I just said, if Stanton needed to DH, for me, Gleyber was kind of that odd man out. Not anymore. He is definitely in. So the Yanks in game 1, it would be Jordan Montgomery and Ross Stripling. And Montgomery finally gets that run support that he's been looking for. And Montgomery, he's just been pure consistency. His ERA drops to 2.72. Record improves to 3-1. He deserves more than 3 wins, but that's what it is. And so the Yankees really it was the 5th inning. An 8-run 5th inning is the key in this win. And for the Yanks, Aaron Hicks would be on the bench for this one. Josh Donaldson DHs. Stanton would play in right field. For this one game, he would do so in this series. But for the Yankees, it would be they would be trailing. In the bottom of the 2nd, you get an RBI single from Gabriel Moreno, the rookie. Give the Blue Jays a 1-0 lead. But then the Yankees in the 4th get a couple of runs. And it would be an RBI double by Gleyber Torres and an RBI ground out by Kyle Higashioka to make it 2-1. Then in the 5th is when things completely explode. A 2-run homer for Giancarlo Stanton. Next pitch, back-to-back home runs. DJ LeMahieu hits his 6th home run of the season, gives the Yankees a 5-1 lead. And then Joey Gallo with an RBI double gives the Yanks a 6-1 lead. At this point, Stripling is long gone from the game. Trent Thornton was the one that gave up all these runs. Then Trevor Richards comes on, and eventually it's the big blow, and Anthony Rizzo grand slam that gives the Yankees a 10-1 lead, and they wouldn't look back. So Rizzo really with the big blow, like I said. And then in the 6th inning, Montgomery does give up a home run to Alejandro Kirk. In the seventh, Manny Banuelos comes on, does give up an RBI single to Moreno to make it 10-3. Banuelos would pitch into the eighth. Miguel Castro would come on and finish up the eighth inning. And then in the ninth, Joey Gallo, clutch home run for Gallo. Not quite. A two-run homer for Gallo to give the Yanks a 12-3 lead, and they would win by that score, 12-3. Lucas Littke would pitch the ninth inning, and a really nice performance from the Yankees. And at that point, just continuing to roll. Game two is a pitcher's duel between Jameson Taillon, who, look, Jameson Taillon, you might be looking at an all-star. Jameson Taillon improves to 8-1. ERA drops to 2.7. He goes against Alek Manoah, who has given the Yankees problems, and really just about everyone else. Manoah, but the Yankees did get to him. It was methodical. It wasn't really by the home run ball, but the big hit was by Aaron Hicks. And, you know, I am not a fan of Aaron Hicks, but credit where it's due. A really big bases clearing double was the key hit in this game. And for the Yanks, there would be no LeMahieu. He would eventually come into the game, but no LeMahieu, Donaldson, or Stanton, and they still won the game. That's what's impressive. Three, sort of mainstay pieces, in the heart of that lineup. Doesn't matter. All sit and the Yankees win. So the runs would come in the fourth and the sixth. In the fourth, it would be a bases clearing double with 2 outs for Aaron Hicks. Maybe his biggest hit of the season. Only his second double of the year. Just crazy. He has 2 doubles and 2 homers. That's just awful, honestly. But give him credit. Then in the sixth, it would be a RBI double for Isaiah Kiner-Falefa to give the Yanks a 4-0 lead. In the bottom of the sixth, Taillon doesn't complete the inning. He does get 2 outs, and then Michael King comes on and does a great job. Michael King ends up pitching 2 scoreless innings, and then the rest of the way it goes to Clay Holmes. Clay Holmes comes in the eighth and gets a 4-out, not a save, but he finishes the game, and now he's thrown, 31 1/3 scoreless innings, just crazy, crazy stuff. His ERA is .28. At this point, it's not even dropping. It's so low. But, Taillon King Holmes sounds good to me. They don't give up any runs. Hicks gets the big hit, and they beat Manoah. And so the Yankees have won the series at this point. We move to game 3, and this is the one, and recency bias as well is definitely a thing. If this had been game 1, you kind of get over it a little bit, but this one definitely hurt. And this game would see Anthony Rizzo on the bench, as well as Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, as Kiner-Falefa is dealing with hamstring soreness. I would expect him to be back in a couple of days. Maybe not the first game of the Rays series, but soon thereafter, I would think he'll return. So Marlon Gonzalez would play shortstop, LeMahieu would play first base, and Severino up and down. 9 strikeouts in 5 innings is good stuff, but gave up a couple of home runs. 4 walks in 5 innings is not great. So Sevy, who had been coming off of, that COVID IL stint, not his best outing. And that's okay. He had been very good to this point for the most part. For me, it's Miguel Castro that you really need to look at as the big reason why they lost this game. I mean, he just hasn't been great lately. He just hasn't been. So the Yankees would fall behind early. As in the first inning, the Blue Jays, they finally got their home run bats going. Vlad Guerrero hits a 2-run homer in the first to give the Blue Jays a 2-0 lead. In the second, though, Gleyber Torres, who, like I said, was really, really good all series long. Very impressed by him. A leadoff home run in the inning for Torres, his 13th homer of the season. And that makes it a 2-1 game. In the third inning, a little bit of redemption for Josh Donaldson as Kikuchi, who was on the mound for the Blue Jays, hit Donaldson in the first inning. He wasn't happy about it. Next at bat, Donaldson, it's a 2-run homer against his former club, his 6th homer of the year, to give the Yankees a 3-2 lead. They would add on in the 5th. Adam Simber would come up for Kikuchi, and it would be an RBI double for Aaron Judge, and then a 2-out, 2-run double for Gleyber Torres. His 12th double of the season, again, just continues to mash, makes it 6-2 Yanks. George Springer would hit a solo shot to make it 6-3 in the bottom of the fifth. But then in the sixth inning, making his major league debut, Max Castillo gives up back-to-back home runs to Kyle Higashioka, who's been homering lately, and then Marwin Gonzalez, his first homer as Yankee, and the first Yankee shortstop homer on the season. And the Yankees are up 8-3. And so it's looking really, really good. But then it all turns around quickly, and it's a reality check as Vlad Guerrero singles off of Severino, and then Alejandro Kirk walks, and that's it for Sevy. And Miguel Castro comes on, and at first it looks good. He gets Teoscar Hernandez to ground out, and then Espinal strikes out. So it's first and second, 2 out, looking good. Matt Chapman walks, and that hurts. And Chapman, there was a couple of pitches that were very close. The first 2 pitches, the first one definitely should have been a strike. The second one could have easily been as well. So he ends up walking Chapman. And then Lourdes Gurriel would be the batter. And on a 2-2 pitch, hits a grand slam. And this changes the whole feel of the game from 8-3 to 8-7, just like that. And Wandy Peralta would have to finish the inning. And he would start the bottom of the 7th. And Wandy's been really good lately. And it's tough. This is a right-handed heavy lineup. And a little bit of bad luck. Bo Bichette with kind of a lucky infield single. Guerrero grounds out into a force. And if you hit it a little bit harder, that should have been a tailor-made double play. But it doesn't happen. Then Alejandro Kirk works a walk. And then it's a big, essentially game-winning 3-run homer for Teoscar Hernandez to give the Blue Jays a 10-8 lead. Ron Marinaccio would finish the 7th and, gets the job done. He also pitched the 8th. So Marinaccio, for me, in terms of pecking order, he's ahead of Castro for me right now. What it means, probably not a whole lot, but that's how I feel. So top of the 8th, Yimi Garcia, who had pitched really well in the 7th and 8th, is replaced by Tim Meza when the Yankees have Anthony Rizzo pinch it for Kyle Higashioka. Left on left, it doesn't matter. Anthony Rizzo homers. He's been amazing lately. It's his 18th homer of the season, and it cuts the Blue Jay lead to 1, 10-9. Then Marwin Gonzalez gets an infield single, and then Trevino pinch hits for Gallo, which I like that. Again, they are pinch hitting for Gallo against lefties. It's all good to me. And Trevino walks to make it first and second. And then closer Jordan Romano, who has struggled lately, and against the Yanks too, where Judge hit a walk-off homer against him at the stadium. But Romano comes in for the 5-out save, and he does get it done. LeMahieu flies out, and LeMahieu, it's not the 2019-2020 version. He's good. It's not fair to say, he is a good player. He's just not that version for me. So, and then Aaron Judge strikes out. So Romano gets a little bit of revenge there. Marinaccio pitches a scoreless 8th, and we head to the top of the 9th in a 10-9 game. Romano on the mound. Donaldson strikes out looking. So even though Donaldson homered, I don't love what it's been for Josh Donaldson this season. Giancarlo Stanton walks, and once Kiner Falefa didn't pinch run for him, that's when you knew, okay, something's wrong with him, and it does turn out that there is a little bit of hamstring soreness. Gleyber Torres flies out, and then Aaron Hicks is up something. All right, it's game over. But no, Aaron Hicks keeps the game alive with a single. He even steals second after Stanton had gone to third on the Hicks single. So it's second and third, 2 outs, and Rizzo works the count full, but he grounds out to Bo Bichette, and the Blue Jays win. So this one hurt. Even though the Yankees are in great shape. They have an 11-game lead on the Blue Jays. They win the series, but the 9-game winning streak's over. And so hopefully the Yankees can have a short memory, as now they head to face the Tampa Bay Rays. And the Yankees had swept the Rays at Yankee Stadium. And then Tampa Bay lost 2 out of 3 at Camden Yards against the Orioles. So, they're not playing great ball, but it should be interesting. Garrett Cole versus Shane McClanahan in Game 1 should be an excellent pitching match. I'm very much looking forward to that. Game 2 is likely to be Cortez for the Yanks, and I'm not sure who for the Rays. Likely. It's listed as TBD for the Yankees, but it should be Cortez in all likelihood. And then in Game 3, likely Jordan Montgomery versus Shane Baz. So, but really, I'm looking for that first one. Cole versus McClanahan should be good. Hoping the Yankees can take 2 out of 3 at the Trop. Against a Rays team that has been struggling and really not playing well and should be pretty angry. So this should be an interesting one. The Yankees are 13 games ahead of Tampa. Pretty amazing stuff. So hopefully the Yankees, like I said, continue win series. Don't want to get too greedy. Just, you don't want to blow 5-run leads if you can avoid it. So again, the Yanks, a little bit of good, a lot of good, and just a tough way to end the series. But they are now 49-17, which is still just something special. And so now this tough stretch continues as they go to Tampa to face the division rival Rays before heading home, where what will be a pretty fun 4-game set against the Houston Astros.